Thank you everybody for joining us to our live session today. As you saw earlier in the video, or hopefully if you haven't go back to the video. I'm glad to be here as your representative for the Automotive Service Association, representing our independent automotive repair facilities throughout the United States. I want to thank our board of directors for this opportunity. I also want to thank our industry supporters, and I also want to thank our affiliates, and last but not least, our membership. I really appreciate your support and guidance as we go forward. A little bit of background about me because I didn't go into that earlier. I started out in the dealership environment, working in the collision industry for well over 20 years, and also worked in the parts department and fixed operations for about 8 years. So I've got a pretty diverse background about that. Also, I became involved in our local association and then got involved with ASA Michigan for the last, since 2004, so 15 years now. We're in 2019. So I'm really pleased to be here representing you. I truly believe our industry is made up of a bunch of professionals. Sometimes, the news media and even some of Datelines catches the negatives of our industry, but there's a lot more positives. And that is our professional industry that we are. From our technicians to our office staff to our ownership, we represent a very professional industry, and it's my job and duty and responsibility going forward to share my passion for that industry and move us forward to where we want to be. So again, thank you for joining us today. For those of you just joining us, I want to thank you and welcome you. We've got a lot of neat things rolling out in 2019, and we're going to kind of give that global view from above today and just watch for coming attractions as we move through the year. So thank you for being here. One of my biggest things that I want to really launch today that I'm really happy about, the team's worked very hard at, is going digital with Auto Inc., our magazine. It put in countless hours, and we're really pleased to be launching that today, and it's really exciting, actually. It's a mechanism of getting that information to you quickly and on time. When no longer do we have to get the templates put in place and go through the printing process and the layout and all that. We can get this information to you much quicker, and that was the whole motive behind all this, is to reach out to our memberships and engage our member and our industry, as a matter of fact. So I'm really pleased to be talking about that. I'm going to start off there because it's so exciting. A lot of hard work went into it. Needless to say, the holidays, even though they were there, some of our staff, Tricia and Doug and Leona, maybe not able to enjoy the holidays as they expected, but they made the deadline, and that was launching our program today, and I can't thank them enough for doing that. So I'm happy to show you right now real quick Auto Inc. online. So it's autoinc.org, and if you look there, there's some different topics. Of course, we got Frank Loitz, Outshop owner, and he's just a great guy. Just a lot of passion for our industry and our professionals. So please join looking at Frank on this and seeing what he's got to say. Technician is killing the auto mechanic, or is it? Truthfully, I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunity coming our way in the years to come. I think this is an exciting time for our industry as well. Is change going to be a challenge? Of course, change always is. But what we're going to do here at ASA is prepare you for that change and give you the confidence going forward. Take that fear out of there and make you be able to sleep at night. So that's our job, that's our responsibility, and I'm happy to be a part of that moving forward. And I'll be talking about our annual meetings and things we've got coming there too in just a few minutes. But anyway, back to autoinc.org, because this has just been a tremendous amount of work and effort, and I'm just looking forward to it. As you look on the right side, we've got different links there with the topics of the conversation. Keep scrolling down, because you'll see a magazine, newsletter, service association about us a little bit. Raising rates without anyone noticing. One of the things we have as a challenge is technician shortage, and we really have to look at our business models. I don't see a doctor, shall we say, lowering their rates or working cheaper. We have to work with what we have to do to make our professional industry move forward. And that's what we're going to be helping you through 2019 is how do we balance that to remain competitive while at the same time getting new technicians into our industry and just, being the professional organizations that we have been and will continue on being. And I just think there's a tremendous opportunity of pool of resources and more of that to come. We're here for you. That's the bottom line. Technician killing the auto mechanic, like I said, or is it? Well, I think that the is the part we're going to concentrate on. But I will tell you this: if you want to hold on to yesteryear, then yes, it is dying for you as an individual. But as long as you stay with training, reach out to resources like ASA, as far as looking for the content and opportunities and the venues, the networking. Those are the types of things that we're going to help you with and achieve things. And again, if you're just joining us, we're going through our autoinc.org website, which just launched today. It's really exciting, and some of the things we're looking forward to in 2019 as professionals. Informing consumers about pre and post repair diagnostic scans. This is one of the takeaways that I can give you from being from Michigan. In Michigan, for example, we require licensing for our repair facilities and our technicians. And we've already encountered something on this debate, and that is where do we fit the consumer in the mold when it comes to an insurance procedure or even a warranty procedure. And that is, to me, the safeguard, and this is just my opinion, but coming from experience. Start with the customer. Get yourself out of the way and reduce your liability exposure by talking to the consumer first. And let them know what's going on. Let them share the information with the insurance company or your warranty companies if it's a mechanical situation. Reason being is the consumer is your customer. So keep that in mind as we're talking about these debates. But I think that's a very healthy topic going forward, and we're going to see more of that, not less, because of all the automation that we're encountering going forward. So I think that it's time to pay attention. It's time to be smart. And we're here to help you do that. And again, if you're just joining us, come on through and let's keep looking at AutoInc and what it's got to offer. Bob Redding's outlook for shop owners in the 116th Congress. We talk about our legislative opportunities here for ASA, that we're the association that represents the repair industry. And let me touch upon that, because we always get caught up in this thing about, we don't need any more regulations or any more legislation or anything like that. That's not important to me. Well, let me tell you what is important to you, having been manager for 20 plus years. And that is, and I've written about this before, that is the importance of stopping things that can affect our industry. And I give this example when I've done different programs. What if, for example, and I know this is far-fetched, but what if the EPA suddenly made disposal of oil $100 a barrel? That's a direct cost to your industry. And by having Bob Redding in Washington, D.C. as our lobbyist, Bob can go there and tell them the things of why we don't want to do that, and look for different venues that we can appease the goal rather than create the legislation. So these pieces of things that we're looking at is not always about creating laws and regulations, but it's also making sure we represent our industry and keeping our costs down and being practical. We sometimes think about making sure we're doing the right thing, and many of us do, but sometimes we need that guidance, and they have that voice in Washington, D.C. That's one of those intangibles that you can't measure. But I can tell you, having done legislative work in Michigan, it can cost 6 digits very quickly to take it on. So anyway, thank you, Bob, for all your work and hard work, and keep doing it. And I look forward to some of the things we're going to be doing in 2019. Again, if you're just joining us, autoinc.org, I'm bragging about that a little bit before we get into some other materials. I want to thank, before I can go further, I want to thank Mitchell One, Synchrony, FlexCheck, and Federated Insurance for their sponsorship of AutoInc and helping us get it going live. Excuse me. This is, like I said, it's been a constant effort for many months to get it to this point. The template's created, and we're just full of energy of where we're going to go and getting that information to you in a timely fashion. This is one of the many mechanisms you're going to see communicated out of ASA in 2019. So thank you to our sponsors. Really appreciate it. And if you want to be a sponsor, please feel free to contact us at info@asashop.org, and we'll get that information to you, because we just want to grow this even further, and your participation. And as you can see, we think of you as we did the design. So thank you for those sponsors. We have blogs about recruiting, putting things back together. You know, our industry, there's a tremendous amount of resources of wisdom when we're looking at different things. And I want to just say that using those resources in different ways of getting that wisdom, it's invaluable. You know, I kind of think about the things that, you know, I'm getting up there a little bit my age, and I have grandkids right now, but it's interesting now to see my kids look at me finally after all these years for that wisdom. And there's a tremendous amount out there for us. And there's some folks that have gotten into second or third generation that are wondering, you know, what did my parents teach me about this business? And that's where ASA steps in too. We're also that bridge that helps you be better business owners and network and show you the path of where you can get those resources, that information. That's what we're all about. And it doesn't come because you buy something from us. It comes from your membership. So again, to all our members, thank you very much. So let me take a look here real quick. Oh. I want to thank Gary Keys, Deb, Mark. It's great to see you. Mike, Matt, how you doing? Glad you're tuning in. I'm excited about 2019 and what we've got going ahead. It's great to see people from all over the United States tuning in, and you know, the engagement's great, and there's much more of this to come through 2019. So with the exception of maybe me moving around a little bit, I hope you don't have to take any Dramamine. I'm keeping it to a minimum, but I am excited about 2019. What you see going forward is a new ASA. So we're here for you. You know, we're not looking through the rearview mirror. We're looking through the windshield, just like when we drive a car, because we're not going to crash and burn. We're going to take us forward and to great destinations. So thank you for being with us today. It's great to see you. I'm going to continue on with Auto Inc. because I want to keep bragging about the hard efforts and what people have done. You keep going through and you'll see some different things. Multimedia, I mean, it's just a great thing. And of course, our message from our chairman, Roy Schnepper. Roy's been awesome as our chairman, and his time's coming up here at the end of in May at the annual meeting. And you know, I think he's done 6 years working too. So thank you, Roy, very much for your efforts and your hard work, and to the board of directors, because it's been some challenging times, and we're looking forward to moving forward even further for you. And you can get into other things about ASA news, information, and so I mean, it's all right there, and just use it, please do. And your feedback, I'm going to give you this a couple times, because your feedback's important. You know, we can only get better by hearing what we can do better for you, and what works and what doesn't work for you. But let's be positive about it. You know, it's very easy to see some negatives, and I think we see that in our daily lives in the news, and we don't need to do that in our industry. So I'm really looking forward to 2019. But if you've got anything, either send it to info@asashop.org or myself. Please, you know, reach out to me. That's Ray, R-A-Y-F, all together, at asashop.org. I'd love to hear from you. So some other things we got coming. Well, if you're just tuning in, I want to bring you into where we're at. You know, we've talked about our autoinc.org, we just launched today, but some other things we got coming on our docket. I am looking forward to our annual business meeting, which is going to be April 29th, May 1st, and May 2nd, right here in Hurst, Texas. We're working on many things for that right this minute, and you should see something out later this month of that annual meeting. But for right now, save the dates on your calendar and make it a point to be here, because it is going to be a business meeting. We're not going to make it a destination per se, but it is going to be business, and we want to see business owners. One of the things that we've already procured is we are going to do a 2 days. We're going to have available ADAS and calibration demonstration right here at Hearst, Texas, and talking about different things of what's coming. You know, on my flight down here last night, I was reading Motor Trend magazine, and they were talking about one of the initiatives that the car manufacturers are looking for is in autonomous vehicles. You know, more people are going to be looking at their phone and things like that, and they're worried about car motion sickness or motion sickness in the car. And so one of the things that the car manufacturers are doing is looking at approximately 8 degrees of steering in the rear to take away some of that motion, doing anything they can to reduce motion. So when you look at this, these are all exciting opportunities for us. It's not something to shy away, but to me it's operations and things that we can look at going forward and thinking outside of the box, getting beyond just the maintenance schedules. What can we do to make that vehicle safer? When it comes to the collision repair industry, for example, I look back to 2013, and the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety did a thing, because these are things that are going to be helping our industry. And what are some of the technologies? Because some of the concerns is that maybe we'll see less total losses or less accidents, and there won't be any cars to repair. And we can all share in that doom and gloom, but the actuality is autonomous vehicles are not going to necessarily prevent accidents, but they'll reduce the severity of them. And that means more repairables and less total losses. So the opportunity to me for the collision repair industry going forward is going to be phenomenal, probably more so than what we have currently. So when you have adaptive cruise controls or lane changing devices, I think it's great. But the other part of that spectrum is, both on the collision and mechanical sides, we have to be cognizant of making sure that these systems are working properly and functioning properly, and that we're doing the best we can as repair professionals to make sure that those vehicles go back out of our shop working the way they're supposed to. So I think as we look through 2019 and going forward, I think that the mechanical and collision repair industry are going to have to pair up a little more, be more involved with each other, and presents a tremendous opportunity for both industries. And I'm just excited about that, because I think that's where the association can come in and help build those bridges and connectivity to each other. The cars are connected. It's time for our industry to get connected. There's been enough separations and walls built, but trust me, after being in the industry for so long and be very involved in the industry, nobody has the secret sauce. Okay? So if you think you got the secret sauce, share the secret, because it's not that secret. But let's make the recipes a little better, make the sauce a little better together, and that's what we can do. And that's what ASA does. Share ideas. I joked about something with somebody a little bit earlier who called me and wished me best of luck. I go back to the days of the meetings that I attended throughout the years and took away from my family. But we always joked about and we reminisced a little bit about the days of the meeting after the meeting, because we went to the meetings for content, to learn about something, whether it was insurance or better shop owners or procuring technicians or procuring office staff. But after the meeting, we talked about the daily operations. We let our hair down and how we could do better things, and that's powerful as well. And sometimes we get carried away with the expense of things. Well, the reality of it is, and let me tell you this as a former business manager at a dealership for so many years, your bottom line, you'll see that when you cut training and when you cut these networking opportunities, you're actually going to see your business decline. And if you really want to make sure that your business does better, you need to be involved. Joining a golf membership at a golf country club or a tennis membership at a tennis club doesn't make you a better player. You have to be involved. You have to be engaged. And that is true of our membership. Don't sit there as a spectator and critique. Get involved. We have a mechanical ops committee is made up a bunch of volunteers that all they want to do is make our industry better, and in turn share that wisdom with all of our industry. Look at the collision ops committee, they do the same thing, and they do it without pay or anything like that. They do it because they want to see the industry get better. Why? Because they know if they raise the bar, so too does the industry raise its bar, and we need to be there. We're not the cheapest, we're the best. That's what we strive for. That's our goal. So I'm really, I can't tell you enough how excited I am to be a part of this organization. It provided for my family all these years, and it's time to give back. We have a lot of people who have been in the industry 30 plus years. They want to mentor, and in some areas they have mentorships. We're going to look at that and try to offer that in 2019. You know, there's some folks that are in their late 20s, early 30s, and maybe mom and dad are stepping down, and maybe they don't want to ask mom and dad because they don't want to admit what they don't know. We're here for you, and we're going to look at all different venues and communication processes to give that to you. And it's not a time to go away, it's a time to be involved. So I can't tell you enough how excited I am to be here, how much I'm looking forward to 2019 and what we're going to do. One of the things we're talking about for our annual meeting as well, in April 30th to May 2nd, is looking at how do we get technicians. And so we're going to form a panel for that discussion. I'm really looking forward to that. And we're going to have a very in-depth conversation about that because there's multiple opportunities for that. And Tony Mala, who's our Vice President of Industry Relations, I've tasked Tony with that. We talked about it this morning a little bit further, and he's going to do a great job on following that up for us, and I'm looking forward to that. So, you know, our team's pulling together because we want to be here for you, and the only thing we're asking in return is your membership, if you're not a member. If you are a member, thank you for your support, and we look forward to more of it. And if you're just joining us, we've covered a lot. Got a few more talking points I want to go through, but please, after we're done, go back and review the video because there's been a tremendous amount of things that have happened today, and just I'm looking forward to 2019. Bottom line is we're here to help the industry, and I'm looking forward to that. And there's a lot of wisdom out there. There's a lot of ways, and I'm looking for those that want to engage, want to be a part of it. So please join us in this endeavor in 2019. And if you're involved in a local association, that's great. If you're involved in a state organization, that's great. But none of us are not important. We're all important. We work off of each other. There's many things a local organization can do that maybe we can't get down into the weeds that far. But there are many things on a global view or state or domestic view here in the United States that we can do. And that's what we're here for. For example, Bob Redding's representation in Washington, D.C. And here's a little tidbit, excuse me, I gotta grab a little water, but here's a little tidbit I want to talk about. Do you know that the repair information that you're able to get through the different databases was all because of the working that we did back in the early 90s? When the car manufacturers at that time were a little bit protective of the information, we got that opened up to where you were able to purchase that through the different vendors and different opportunities. Imagine where we'd be today if that wasn't available. That's some of the work we've done for you that we don't brag enough about, I guess, in Washington, D.C. And my hat's off again to the D.C. office and Bob's work. You know, so that data information is huge. And going forward now, it's back on the topic and agenda again. That is data access. Who gets it? Who has the right to it? And where do we go from there? And let me give you a little scenario. I alluded to a little bit of my experience in Michigan. You know, put yourself in this trick bag. I had a member actually in the Michigan area when I was executive director in Michigan called me and got kind of put in a spot. The customer got mad because the third party had already gotten the information they never saw because the shop thought they're paying the bill, I'll give it to them. And it caused a very negative experience for that shop owner. And he shared it with me and said, you know, Ray, what would you do in this case? And that's where we basically, the two of us networked together of coming up with a solution. And that was to give the information to the customer and let them give it to the party and so forth. That reduced his risk tremendously, and that's, I believe, what he adopted and went forward on. But these are all things that are discussion points right now. Again, nobody has a secret sauce, but that's where the meetings come into play. That's where your participation comes into play. Your feedback comes into play because we listen. You know, leadership is about listening to good ideas and coming to a conclusion. And you know, the things that we need to do going through 2019 is we need to listen to you because there's a lot of wisdom out there, and do what's best for the industry moving forward. Because sometimes we don't think about the things behind the scenes, and it's not that we intend to do something that's harmful, but in the long run it does wind up being harmful. And that's where this pool of resources comes from, is being able to do that. So I want to thank, oh, we've got some more. Great. Tom Ham, how you doing? Don, good to see you. Mark, again, saw you earlier. Darren, good to see you. Buckaroo Bob, great to see you. Just glad that you're being with us. And I'm just looking at I mean, these are folks that are engaged and want to see where ASA is going for 2019. And just that participation in a short period of time, imagine what we can do together. That's what the association's about. I'm happy because there's a lot of wisdom in those names I just recited, that we can save a lot of scratches and bruises for those just getting into the industry. You know, and some of you know, might be getting up in years and say, you know what, it's time to get out. We're going to help you with that too, because as we go through 2019, we want to help succession planning, because I don't care whether you're 25 or whether you're 65. Succession planning should be a part of your business model. You should always be prepared of where you're going to go from here. And you know, there's a pool of resources. We're going to make them available. We're going to be discussing them. We're going to be highlighting them. So tune in. We've got webinars coming up. We've got our live broadcast tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central Time, by the way. That's 12 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 o'clock Pacific. No, I'm sorry, Mountain Time. And 9 o'clock in Pacific Time. And so we're going to cover some more things at that point. I want you to join us. I want to thank you for being with us today. We're going to lay some more things out tomorrow, but just a tremendous year ahead. And you know, the nice thing that we rang in that bell at New Year's Eve at midnight, we rang in as the ball dropped. We said what we're going to do in 2019, and I'm just anxious to say that not only did we talk about it, but my team here did it. And so Auto Inc., you did a great job. Scott, how you doing? Good to see you. Tony, Marianne, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And again, if you're just joining us, please go back when this is over, go back to the beginning of the video and see that. Again, thank you for being with us today. I'm going to close out with thank you to ASA for doing what they've done through the years. We're here for you and our members, our independent repair industry. We may not always agree, but let's agree to disagree, and let's move forward together. Our industry's been fragmented for too long. It's time to come together and prepare for the future. And for all of you that have joined us today, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the solution, and thank you for being a part of 2019. Again, thank you. Happy New Year. See you tomorrow at 11 Central Time.